and people's participation, joint hearing with science and technology, as well as finance, constitutional amendments, and the revision of codes. So we call to order and acknowledge the presence of Senator Nancy Binay as well as Senator Francis Tolentino. And I'd like to call on the committee secretariat to acknowledge and recognize the guests, particularly from COMELEC, the ICT, and the other relevant institutions, as well as the stakeholders and the NGOs. Sige, Dina. Dana?
Sorry, naka-unmute po. Naka-mute po kanina, sorry. Okay.
Sige, pakitawag mo lang kung sinong nandito. Kung
Okay,
sino present. Okay.
Good afternoon. The Committee on Electoral Reforms and People's Participation would like to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished guests, Director Jeannie Flororita, Assistant Secretary Emmanuel Caintic, Attorney Maria Teresita Ipatula, Engineer...
Teka, lahat ito COMELEC?
Yung COMELEC po si Director Jeannie po, Flororita.
Kaya nga, pero si Monica Intica, sige.
ASEC po, DICT, from DICT, ASEC Emmanuel.
That's right.
Yes, and Attorney Maria Teresita Ipatula from DOS.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Sino yan? Sorry.
Si Attorney Maria Teresita Ipatula po.
Saan? From where?
From DICT.
DICT. So it's Monica Intic and the other one? Sorry.
Attorney Maria Teresita Ipatula.
Okay.
Okay, from DOST po, si Engineer Peter Antonio B. Banzon and si Mr. Reynaldo Joseph A. Calyao, both from DOST po.
Okay.
Okay, from Coalition of Services for the Elderly, Ms. Maria Carina Meneses.
Okay.
Out of Home Advertising Association of the Philippines, Mr. Alex P. Montanes and Attorney Russell E. Takla. From PPCRV po, Dr. Arwin Serrano. From NAMFREL, Mr. Gus Lagman. From Lente, Attorney Rona Ann Vicaritos. And
sorry, from Lente, hindi siya visible. Andiyan ba?
Yes po ma'am, siya po si Ona po.
There you are. Oo. Hindi kasi papatulong ako sa kanya eh. Unmute lang, unmute. Andiyan ka pala eh. Okay.
Okay po. Dr. Ronald Mendoza.
Okay.
Tsaka po from DICT rin po si Miss Dorothea Zamudio.
Zamudio. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, nandiyan na rin po from DBM, si Miss Rosario Dalisay.
I'm sorry, sino?
Miss Rosario Dalisay po.
Okay. Oo.
Yun, that will be all, ma'am.
Okay. Marami kaming mga pending requests na nag-iintay ng COMELEC response. I think nagpapatulong tayo. Just backlog from before, ano? Maraming requests from the COMELEC, ano? And then we also had several requests, Ms. Dalisay, dun sa DBM. Oo, kasi I can't hear. Please unmute. Sa DBM, please unmute lang. Kasi may pinapa-expand ng mga COMELEC offices na...
Ay, opo ma'am. Yes po.
Papa-upgrade at saka
upgrade. Opo, magpapa-add.
Oo, tapos si Miss Ona ng Lente, nagpo-compute rin kami. Pino-compute namin kung gaano ka-gastos yung pag-upgrade ng COMELEC. Baka sakali makatulong kayo sa amin kasi mahirap mag-propose kung walang numero eh.
Opo ma'am. Yes, that's right po ma'am. We have our bureau that will be in charge of the creation at as to the number of people that will be in manning the mga extension or additional offices of the COMELEC, ma'am. That is from our OPCCB, Office of the Organization Compensation Bureau, as well as the Systems and Procedures Improvement Bureau of the DBM. that will be in charge of the creation of additional offices expansion.
Sige, kung maaari lang bigyan na lang tayo, biglan ano na lang kami ng kuha ng numbers. Ganun din sa
Yes.
Lente, we discussed with Miss Ona yung possibility na kasi may approximate numbers na kayo pero doon lang sa leasing, wala pa sa personnel, di ba?
Yes, Chair. We already submitted our position paper to your honorable office as to the computation of the office spaces, if it would be leased or yung po sa hiring of additional personnel. So we already submitted. And we are also talking with DBM po. We are in coordination with them as to the computation as well.
Sige.
And
Ayun.
last time po, Chair.
Wala pa ako nare-receive eh. Yung na-receive ko yung dati pa na kulang.
Po, Chair. Sige, I'll check po with our secretariat. But last time, Chair, I remember someone from DBM, they already have a draft position paper as to the office spaces and the personnel.
Correct. Yung office spaces, okay na. Kompleto na yon. Pero yung
Yes, ma'am.
personnel, kasi may pagtataas ng salary grade level.
Salary,
Oo. So, super mahal siya actually. Baka kailangan i-stagger ng 3 taon. So, I'd like to, we have several bills that are pending today, and I'd like to inquire if either of the two senators, Senator Francis or Senator Nancy, would like to make an initial comment on any of these. Or pakinggan muna natin ang mga resource.
Yes, Madam Chair, we can proceed with the presentation
Yeah,
of our
okay.
resource person.
All right, so let's start na lang with the early voting for senior citizens and PWDs. Let's call on those who are here to discuss that. I think we have the Coalition of Services, maybe Maria Karina Meneses, after the COMELEC. Yung COMELEC, please, kayo na mauna kasi maliwanag na may constitutional requirement nito. So, may comment ba ang COMELEC dyan kay Ms. Flororita at saka sa PMD? Yes, I'd like to call on COMELEC, please, to express their reaction.
Director Elnas po is here for the reaction on early vote.
Your audio is not so great. Can you come closer, please? Thank you. So essentially, ito yung senior citizens and PWDs may choose to cast their ballot for a period not less than 2 days within 30 calendar days before election day. So ito yung dinidiscuss natin kung paano. And it has relations to Article 5, Section 2 of the Constitution, particularly Paragraph 2, which refers to the disabled, illiterates, and so on. May Republic Act 10.3, 6016 yan, kaya importante rin tungkol sa creation of precincts. So may I call on the COMELEC once again to express their reaction to this.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to everybody. I am Director Chupisto E. Elnas Jr., the acting
Elnas, Director.
Chupisto E. Elnas Jr.,
Okay, so Director Elnas, thanks.
acting Deputy Executive Director for Operations.
Okay.
Again, good afternoon, Madam Chair, everybody. Now, as far as the Senate Bill number 1104, that concerns early voting, the members of the Commission on Bank are unanimous in saying that it's a laudable and commendable bill, considering that it will enhance the voting experience and it will ensure voter participation on the part of the senior citizens as well as the persons with disabilities. But as far as their position is concerned, hindi unanimous yung Commission on Bank. In fact, if I may, Commissioner Guanzon, 100% yung support niya. But of course, with some modification that sana it will include other vulnerable sectors like the pregnant women, indigenous
Ang dami
people.
actually. If I may, Director, ang dami-daming dagdag ng COMELEC, sa totoo lang. Ewan ko papayag yung ibang senador, maliban sa senior citizens at PWD. Ang note na narito sa akin, tama po ba to? Lahat ng chair, commissioner, director, officer, personnel, staff ng COMELEC, lahat sila pwede mag-online registration, COA, Ombudsman, Civil Service, Human Rights, Judiciary, DepEd, Health, Justice, Armed Forces, Police, kasi duty nga naman sila that day. Tapos yung mga members of the cultural communities, media, persons deprived of liberty, pregnant women, tama ba ito? Personnel of the National Grid, para ongoing yung kuryente, saka medical and health personnel on duty. Apakarami ng lista ninyo eh. Tama ba
Ma'am,
itong natanggap ko?
that's as far as Commissioner Guanzon is concerned.
Yes.
However, kasi iba-iba yung posisyon ng iba-ibang commissioners, including the
I
chair.
see.
And if I may, as far as Commissioner Commissioner Ko is concerned,
Yes.
supportive naman siya, and ang sa kanya lang is that those registered senior citizens as well as PWDs registered as to avail of the early voting will have the chance of voting on election day if in case hindi sila makakaboto during the early voting. That's one ano niya.
Come again. Ang sinasabi mo, para kay Commissioner Ko, hindi lang registration, kundi actual botohan. Tama ba?
Mag-register pa rin, ma'am, pero just in case naka-register na yung PWD or senior citizen natin,
Okay.
and he fails to vote on early voting schedule, he will be allowed to vote on election day. Contrary to what has been provided under the Senate bill na hindi na siya makakaboto.
So if he's registered but fails to vote, I'm confused.
Dito kasi sa ano, ma'am, dito kasi sa proposed bill, if naka-proposed bill, if nakarehistro ka na, then you fail to vote on election on early voting period, you are no longer allowed to vote on election day. So, ang sa
Okay,
kanya
I see. You mean to say fails to vote in the early election?
Yes, ma'am.
I
So, ang
see.
sa kanya is, despite the fact na hindi nakaboto doon sa early voting, they will still be allowed on election day to cast their votes.
I see. I think that's a good amendment kasi talaga dapat very liberal.
Yes, ma'am. And second is, COMELEC will be given the authority to determine other vulnerable sectors that will be included in the early voting. So hindi lang restricted to or inclusive for PWD and senior citizen.
Kaso ang lawak-lawak na ito, halos lahat ng government agency na cover na ninyo.
Yes. Mayroon lang separate na position si Honorable Chair. Although supportive siya on the early voting, pero mayroon siyang separate na position on this, to the effect that we have already the emergency accessible polling places in place last elections. So for this, ito na lang ang i-enhance natin instead of conducting the early voting. Then he said that instead of venturing into novel or costly methods, it is best to consider enhancing solutions, laws, and processes that are already in place. Then,
Yes. I would like to inquire, ano yung update ninyo doon sa creation of precincts for PWD and seniors? Ilan ba talaga ang na-activate dyan? Kasi ang balita ko, kukunti pa rin lang.
Kukunti lang yun, ma'am. Last elections, 2016 and nag-increase tayo ng sa 2019, but it's not nationwide.
That's
So
right.
siguro, yes, ma'am, tama yun, ma'am.
Because
So,
I understand that it's been very, very slow. And as a result, out of the 8 million senior citizens, I think only 211,000 sa 8 million ay boboto sa accessible polling places. Wala pa sa 1% yun eh.
yes, ma'am, tama yun, ma'am, because under sa law on accessible polling places, they will have to manifest their intention to join the accessible polling places. So, mayroon kaming fallback dyan. Naggawa din kami ng emergency polling places. Just in case hindi sila na-enlist doon sa accessible polling places, they can still go to the emergency polling places located or situated within the voting centers para doon sila boboto. So yun ang ginawa natin as fallback, ma'am, which marami-rami na ang bumoto na rin as senior citizen at saka PWD.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
Yes.
Senator Nancy, please.
Siguro, Director Elnas, ilan ho yung na-set up nyo na emergency polling places for the 2019 election?
2019. Ilan yun? Ilan ang APP?
Kasi, Nance, dito sa 2019 data ng COMELEC na sinubmit, may 8 million sana na senior citizens, pero only 211,000 indicated that they can vote in accessible polling places, including those emergency. Napaka-konti talaga eh. You have any further data as requested by Senator Binay, Director?
Yes, ma'am. We were able to set up 4,138 APPs. That's for about that's for 20 2019 po.
Yes.
4,138 accessible polling places.
Ilan ang bumoto doon?
Madam Chair, just to add, ang ibig ho ba sabihin nun, kasi hindi nagmamanifest yung mga PWDs na gagamitin nila itong accessible polling places. Ibig sabihin nun, hindi kayo gumagawa. Ganun ho ba yan? Parang
Yes, ma'am.
nagiging
Kasi-
chicken and egg yung situation. Kasi parang hindi sila nagmamanifest ng need, kaya hindi nyo nakikita yung pangangailangan. Hindi, parang ganun ho
yun,
ba?
ma'am, dahil yes, ma'am, tama yun, ma'am, because that is required under the law na they must manifest manifest their intention to join the APP. Then that will be the basis that we will be creating accessible polling places.
Eh,
So that's why to remedy the situation, nag-create din kami ng emergency voting centers to address the situation na pag hindi ka nakasama sa APP, you can still vote in an emergency polling place on election day situated doon sa baba and accessible sa mga senior citizen at saka PWD.
pero Director, meron ho ba kayong information campaign para malaman ng mga PWDs na kailangan mag-manifest muna sila ng intent?
Yes po, the entire registration period, doon din yung campaign namin for them to enlist or to manifest their intention to join their the accessible polling places po.
So hindi ho pala siya automatic.
Oo, hindi
po.
nga siya automatic.
Ayon sa batas yun, ma'am.
Kailangan i-manifest kasi kalawa, yung dinadaing ng mga senior citizen groups na talagang kailangan ng special assistance, yung tutulungan sila with of course the transport, tapos konting guidance pagdating sa presinto, sa paghanap ng pangalan and everything, nahihirapan daw kasi kapos din ang COMELEC sa tauhan. Parang gano'n ang dating eh. Director, following upon on Senator Nancy, out of the 8 million senior citizens and PWD na are qualified sana to vote, ilan ba bumoto noong 2019?
We will just submit yung ano ma'am, yung data for purposes of kung sino at ilan yung kung ilan yung nakaboto through the APP at saka through the emergency polling places natin po. We will
Pero
submit
dun sa regular, yung overall, at lahat, even if not in the APP, not in the EAPP, yung lahat siguro. Kasi ang alam ko, napakaraming seniors hindi na talaga nakakaboto.
Kabuuan natin ma'am last election, medyo mataas yung voter turnout natin, nasa mga 80% yung bumoto
Correct.
po.
Pero sa seniors, ganun din? Parang mas mababa eh. Dito sa amin, ang dami naming seniors, ang daming hindi bumoto eh.
Hindi namin oo, kasi nagkahalo-halo yan, regular at saka in a clustered precinct ma'am. So hindi namin segregate kung ilan yung siguro ma'am in due time pwede namin
sige,
kunin yan.
hihingi na lang namin.
Yes ma'am.
Ms. Meneses, coalition kayo ng senior citizen, may data pa kayo or any reaction to these comments?
Ay, magandang hapon po, Madam Chair. Kat po from Coalition of Services of the Elderly.
May maidadagdag ba kayo sa tanong ni Senator Binay?
Actually po, in regards po doon sa mga nabanggit po ng COMELEC, based on the experience po na nangyari nung nakaraang election po na nag-monitor po ang coalition at ang mga kasama po natin from Confederation of Older Persons Association of the Philippines. Tama po yung sinabi po ninyo na marami po at malaki yung disenfranchisement ng boto. Maraming nawalang boto sa mga senior citizen. Isang manifestation na dyan, even yung sa party list na lang, koonti lang din yung nakaboto. At ang isa at number one po na problema talaga po nila, una, nawawala po yung pangalan sa mga presinto ng mga senior citizen. Hirap po silang i-locate, knowing na meron na po tayong accessibility law, merong special polling precinct for them. Pag pumupunta po doon yung ating mga older person, yung mga senior citizen natin, hindi rin po nila makita yung kanilang hindi nila ma-locate yung kanilang pangalan at may iba po na mga senior citizen natin na minsan nasa third floor ng building ng school yung kanilang polling precinct. So hirap po talagang umakyat at yung iba naman dahil sa napagod ng maghintay buong hapon sa paghahanap ng kanilang pangalan dahil na-reshuffle po yung presinto eh. Yung dati nilang presintong pinagbobotohan, nawala po yung mga pangalan nila doon. So karamihan po talaga ay hindi nakaboto noong 2019 election po natin.
Pero Ms. Meneses, alam rin natin na karamihan ng ating mga oldies, hindi na rin marunong mag-online. Makakatulong ba itong online na to? Palibasa,
Yes po. Definitely po. Mahihirapan po talaga sila. Marami po sa ating mga senior citizen na mas gusto po talaga yung pumupunta. No, yan po yung Yeah, gusto nila isa po ito doon sa pamamaraan nila to give back doon sa community, doon sa gobyerno. Talagang they are participative pa rin. Talagang dadalo kahit mahaba pila, pinakamaaga kahit madaling araw pipila po sila. So mas okay po sa kanila.
Sa amin nga silang natyaga, yung mga bata tinatamad po.
Yes po, napaka-tiyaga po ng mga senior citizen po natin. At sila pa po lagi yung madalas na nasa unahan ng pila. Kahit madaling araw po yan, pipila, kahit maglakad. Yes po, kahit po maglakad sila. Pagdating naman po dun sa question nyo ng online, medyo mahirap.
Ko kasi, makakatulong ba itong online na to samantalang hindi naman sila online? Ano ba talaga makakatulong sa mga oldies natin? At saka sa PWD?
Medyo hindi po, pero kung may mga support group, kung may mga support group po, or may mga other... Hello po. Ayun po, kung may mga support group po na tutulong sa kanila in terms of the technology ng online, possible. Pero kung sila po mismo on their own, may marami po sa mga older person natin na nasa depressed communities na nasa vulnerable sector po talaga na mahirapan po talaga doon sa online registration po.
Ayun na nga eh. Kaya nga, ang gusto natin mangyari, hindi lang yung online registration, kundi ano pa
Yes
yung
po.
mga pamamaraan na makakatulong talaga na hindi sila ma-disenfranchise kasi very committed sila talaga sa voting process. Sayang naman
Yes.
na hindi sila nakakabilang.
And sayang po yung 8 million vote. Actually po, tinataya nga po
Napakalaki
natin
nga ng 8 million eh.
this 2022 po, mas tataas pa po ito ng 9 to 10 million senior citizen po. Based po doon sa projected na study na ginawa po ni COSE. At karamihan po, most po, 100% po ng mga senior citizen po natin ay botante po.
Tama. Okay. So, ang sinasabi mo, ang dapat mangyari yung online samahan ng matinding support group sa local na pamahalaan o DepEd o COMELEC kung may tauhan pa sila. Tama ba yun?
Yes po, yes po. And then assistance din po ng mga civil society or other people's organization na pwedeng maging part ng support group system na magpa-participate
That's
po dun sa registration. Kasi even po sa amin, no, nung pinag-uusapan po namin itong batas from Coalition of Services of the Elderly, ay nakikita po namin napakaganda po nitong bill. Actually po, we are supporting the bill nga. At,
Sige,
not just
magdadagdag.
because,
Pero ang gusto nyo, dagdagan talaga ng provisions for support, assistance, simplification, at iba pa.
yes po ma'am, Madam Chair.
Oo. Sige, I'd like to recognize also Senator Coco Pimentel, one of the authors of one of the bills here and the previous chairman of this committee. Meron rin tayong mga kinatawan. NCDA ka, Ms. Meneses, COSE Life Haven. Does anyone wish to express their support or reaction to this bill? Dina, meron pang dumating galing sa iba pang NGO involved sa seniors?
No, only Coalition of Services for the Elderly lang po, ma'am, yung nakapag...
Okay.
Yes
All
po.
right, thank you very much. That being the case, ako naintindihan ko na yung online minsan talagang limited rin ang tulong niyan pagkat marami sa matatanda sa amin, halimbawa, kung saan pinakamahabang life expectancy sa Pilipinas, nakatira sa pinakamalalayong lugar, nasa rural remote talaga, sa upland, hinterland. Meron pang mga IP, talagang mahina sa bundok ang wifi. Maswerte ka pa kung merong computer. So, titignan natin. Okay, I think COMELEC, meron na karagdagan, please. Meron yata nag-message sa akin. Tama ba? Director, meron kang idadagdag? Okay, Jeannie Flororita. Ang NAMFREL, meron ba kayong comment?
Magandang hapon po, Madam Chair.
Yes?
Madam Chair, yes, magandang hapon po. This is Eric Alcia from NAPEL.
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon, ma'am. Nagpasa po kami dyan sa Senate. Ito lang mga ilang minuto ng isang PowerPoint. Tungkol po ito dun sa pag-transform ng digitally ng voting process. Nakita po natin,
Putol-putol yung audio.
Opo. Meron po kaming binigay na recommendation po para sa pag-transform digitally ng voting, ng voter registration process.
Okay.
Makakatulong po ito sa pagpaparehistro. No? Kahit na matatanda po, kaya po ito, halos pareho po ito sa sistema na ginagawa po natin sa pag-file ng passport.
I see.
So makakatulong po ito, tapos hindi naman po totaling iibahin, no, yung proseso. Ang gagawin lang efficient. No? May PowerPoint kami ibinigay sa inyo at recommendation.
Nabigay na ba ito sa COMELEC at sa komite? Kasi hindi ko pa nakikita, pasensya.
Hindi pa po. Nakita po, nilabas po namin ito January, pero siguro kailangan lang pong i-reiterate ulit dahil nagkaroon ng pandemic at
That's
kailangan
right.
talaga ng social distancing at
Are you
safety
able to
ng mga
Are you able to share with us some salient points? In what way has it simplified or expedited the registration process?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So essentially, you have to go online, no, to file your application, no, and to file for a
Sorry. So, online din ang recommend pala ninyo. Okay din yung online
yes,
sa
ma'am.
inyo.
Oo.
Good. Oo,
Yes,
kasi
ma'am.
malaking tulong yon sa passport. Definitely nag-work siya sa passport kahit paano.
Oo.
Okay.
At kailangan lang kung magpakita yung botante sa araw na nakatakda siyang nakaschedule.
Tama. Like the passport, by appointment. Kumbaga,
Yes,
hindi
ma'am.
ka pipila pagkasagal-tagal. Tama.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yun lang po, yun yung steps.
Sige, siguro one last question tungkol sa bill na to at moving forward, unless Senator Coco or Senator Francis have questions. Ang itatanong ko na lang kina Attorney Jimenez, kay Director, kay Jeannie Florita, sa palagay ninyo, kasi nung 17th Congress, na-discuss na to under Chairman Coco Pimentel. At ang sabi nun, ayon sa records, ang sabi, COMELEC can just strengthen and improve yung RA 10366. Imbes na new bill, i-amend na lang daw yung dati. Sa palagay niyo, would that be a neater procedure samantalang we are in the process also of rationalizing and consolidating yung iba't ibang election laws? Would anyone from COMELEC like to comment?
Accessible polling places can be located.
Kasi tama rin yung kay Mr. Albian ng NAMFREL Dapat kung aayusin yung registration, wag lang yung senior citizen, wag lang yung PWD, napaka-piecemeal. Ano sa palagay ninyo kung isi-simplify natin na parang passporting? Opinion ba yung COMELEC? Kasi kayo rin ang gaganap dito Yes, Mr. Jimenez, please. Audio lang po, nakamute po kayo.
Yes, Senator, thank you po. Thank you for the opportunity. Maganda po sana kung medyo holistic ang approach natin.
Oo nga nahihilo na tayo sa chop-chop at contradictory piecemeal na election laws.
Yes po. So if that requires a sort of sweeping change of everything, I think it might be worth the effort po. Tutulong naman po yung COMELEC dyan.
Sige, tapos kung maaari si Mr. Alvia, ibigay na rin yung kopya ng kanyang registration process from NAMFREL, from the NAMFREL proposal. So, isang salang na lang, like you said, para mas madali para sa atin lahat. Okay, thank you. Are there any comments about this bill? Or can we proceed to...
Chair,
Yes.
this is from Lente. Can we give our comments as well to the bill?
I'm sorry, sino po yun?
This is Ona po. Chair, this is Ona from Lente.
Hi. Miss Ona.
Yes, Chair, we are supportive of this bill, anything to make the process inclusive, more inclusive. But our proposal is, in other jurisdiction po kasi, it is open to all voters and not limited or exclusive to certain sectors of the population. So our proposal is to consider this modality to include all voters, for all voters to have this privilege. And yung isa pa po proposal namin, and ito po yung sinabi niyo lang po kanina earlier, is to fully implement the accessible polling place law. It was passed 7 years ago, 2013, but up to now po, hindi pa po talaga fully implemented yung batas na yan. So we have yet to see the full implementation. So we are proposing that it be fully implemented first. And Chair, maganda po talaga na mabigyan ng budget yung audit ng ating mga voting centers pre-election kasi doon po talaga nagkakaroon ng problema ang ating mga senior citizens and PWDs, accessibility po ng voting centers.
Alin ang bibigyan ng budget, Attorney Ona?
Yung audit po ng mga voting centers ng mga eskwelahan po na gagamitin natin for election day. Kasi yun po yung hindi nabibigyan at yan po ay na-pilot na ng COMELEC noong 2010-2013 po. In-audit nila yung physical access ng mga schools to, for example po, yung mga naka-wheelchair ng mga voters natin. So nagkaroon po na gano'n na initiative. So baka po dapat mas dagdagan lang yung pera in the auditing of our schools as to its accessibility.
I see.
And
I see.
just to share, kasi po, nagkaroon po kami ng study Nagkaroon po kasi ng mall voting noong 2013, panahon ni Chair Bautista. And one of the insights that we got from that study of mall voting, yung po mga senior natin at mga PWD voters, ayaw po nilang bumoto na nakahiwalay sa mga pamilya nila, sa mga kapitbahay. Nang tinanong po namin, bakit? Ba't ayaw yung nakahiwalay? Kasi hindi daw po nila nararamdaman yung kasayahan pag-eleksyon. So baka po dapat may context rin po pag-iisipan pa natin yung passage of this law. Kasi baka po may culture na naman, may cultural reason on why this law would not be fully implemented or maximized by our voters. Kasi po ayaw po nilang mahiwalay sa mga kapitbahay nila. And last point po, Chair, last year in the 2019 midterm elections,
ang sinasabi mo ba, pag registration pa lang, may kwan na, may bonus na kagad? Baka hindi sila kasama? Ano ba yun?
hindi naman po. Sa voting po yan, Chair.
Ano ba yung kasiyahan na sinasabi? Parang magkasiyahan.
Hindi po, yung masaya po, di ba on election day para pong fiesta?
Opo.
So nawawala po yung fiesta atmosphere pag nung bumoto daw sila sa mall noong 2013. So ito po, di ba yung early voting is voting away from the traditional voting centers. Baka po may gano'n rin pag-iisip or pakiramdam ang ating mga PWD at senior citizen na mga voters.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Senator Nancy, I'd just like to caution, kasi nagkakagulo-gulo na, alam mo na yung pinag-usapan natin, yung early voting sa senior citizen at PWD at yung online registration ni Joel. Medyo halo-halo na. But anyway, okay lang. Kasi
actually, Madam Chair, yun nga yung i-clarify ko which, na ba tayo bill? Are we discussing two bills together, yung providing for early voting and then yung online registration, or dun muna tayo sa early voting for senior citizens and PWDs?
Oo, dun muna sana sa early voting, pero nung nag-comment, yung mga commentary, baka balikan natin yung early voting. Any other comments from COMELEC sa early voting?
Siguro, Madam Chair, balikan ko lang yung position ng Lente.
Yes.
So parang sinasabi nyo, mas maigi na gawin na lang natin convenient for them to vote on election day rather than doing early voting. Tama po ba?
Yes po, Senator Binay. And just for everyone's information rin po, last year in the 2019 midterm elections, COMELEC also piloted voting in hospitals and retirement homes for our senior citizens. Nangyari po yan sa Rizal, sa Pangasinan, at sa San Juan de Dios. And we're recommending this pilot to be expanded further in other hospitals and retirement homes all over the country. Kasi hindi na po sila lalabas ng ospital, ng mga retirement homes. It's more accessible to these voters kapag po na-implement yan or na-expand further.
I'd like to clarify also with Lente, following up on Senator Binay, yung early voting ang sinasabi ninyo na hindi na necessary o necessary?
Chair, it's necessary for us, anything to make the process more inclusive.
That's why.
Pero yung recommendation po namin, just like in other jurisdictions, is to open it to all voters and not just to certain sectors of the population. Kasi yun naman po in other jurisdictions. Kasi it's the same preparation, tas sayang naman po yung cost if certain sectors lang po. I'm not discounting the vote of our PWDs and senior citizen voters, pero yung preparation po kasi para mas marami po makikinabang para po dun sa gastos.
Or Madam Chair, siguro just to add dun sa discussion, kasi baka ang mangyari, meron nga silang early voting pero paakatin naman natin sa third floor yung mga senior citizens natin, di ba? So parang it might defeat yung purpose, di ba?
Tama yun.
Yung physical setup is not parang cured dun sa pagbobotohan ng PWDs tsaka senior citizens. So parang baka mawawala din yung epekto ng early voting. And siguro nga baka may mindset din yung yung mga, lalong-lalo na yung mga senior citizen na parang hindi sila kasali doon sa proseso pag hindi sila makaboto on the election day itself.
That's right.
Yes.
I think,
Madam Chair, pwede pong mag-react?
sorry lang, nauna kasi si Director Elnas.
Ay, sige po, sige po.
At saka I'd
Okay
like to I'd like to invite also Senator Coco kung meron siyang idadagdag kasi na-hearing na niya ito dati eh. Baka meron kayong insights dyan. Okay, Director Elnas.
Comment lang po, ano,
Pwedeng laksan konti. Oo, naka-mute yata.
Madam Chair?
Yes, laksan lang konti, sorry.
Comment lang po doon sa statement ng Lente. One is, we fully implemented already Republic Act 10366. The only problem is that the law requires manifestation on the part of... Yeah, yun ang hindrance namin despite the fact na binugbog na ni James ni Director Jimenez ng information campaign. But nonetheless, kunti lang talaga ang nag-manifest. That's namin.
Madam Chair?
Anong suggestion ninyo? Wala nang requirement for manifestation? Basta may APP na sa lahat ng lugar? Ganun ba yun?
Yung ma'am, nire-reinforce namin yan through establishment of emergency polling places. So doon na mismo sa kahit wala ka, kahit hindi ka na lista nakapag-manifest, basta nandun ka na on election day, you can still be accommodated, you can still cast your vote without going through the doon sa mathabang linya, doon sa regular polling place mo dahil mayroon kang naka-allocate na emergency voting center within the polling place. That's
Madam Chair?
one. Then second,
Hindi, siguro balikan ko lang mo yung pagmamanifest. Can you just go, parang i-go through natin yung proseso of manifestation? Kasi baka tedious din yung proseso kaya hindi nila ginagawa.
ano lang yun, ma'am. As far as COMELEC is concerned, nasa rules namin, they will just fill up the form, then submit it to the election officer. Then the election officer will now update the voting records or the voting records of the voter. Then he will be already be included in the accessible polling place. And that's the requirement.
Online? May online.
Wala po tayong online because yung natin dyan, ma'am, is yung personal filing ng manifestation. So siguro kung pwede natin yang i-modify even without going through or hindi na pupunta sa opisina ng COMELEC, they can still file or make their manifestation to join the APP. Pwede siguro yun
paano kung both? Gawin natin early registration na online para sana makatulong din.
I think that would help also, ma'am. Ang problema din niyo sa downside din is yung accessibility ng internet ng mga vulnerable sectors natin.
Pero siguro like all these COVID efforts, i-explore natin lahat ng posibilidad para mga makarami.
Yes, ma'am. Second po, we did not conduct voting doon sa hospitals. But we conducted satellite registrations doon mismo sa hospital.
I see.
Yes, ma'am. Tapos, we set up one voting center doon sa Hospicio Tanay. Doon yung mga elderly natin, mga matanda. We set up a special polling place with voting machine. Silang nandun na mga matatanda, nakakaboto doon na sila without going through the regular voting center. Nag-set up kami doon. That's heaven for the elderly doon sa Tanay po.
Reaction po, Madam Chair.
Sino yan? Can you just please identify yourself?
Kat, Karina Meneses po from Coalition of Services of the Elderly po.
Yes. Before that, may I acknowledge the arrival of Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa. Okay, Kat. Please proceed.
Ay, yes po. Reaction lang din po dun kanina sa mga comment and even sa COMELEC po natin. Opo. Maganda po na nagkaroon tayo ng mga polling, special polling precinct doon sa mga institutions, no? Mga elderly institutions natin. Pero wag po nating kalimutan na majority of the older person, o majority of the senior citizen ay nasa community, nasa komunidad at wala sa loob ng institution. So ang issue na nire-raise din po namin dito, tama po din yung nabanggit nyo kanina kasi medyo problematic nga yung magmamanifest ka pa. Question po sa COMELEC, meron po bang hindi po ba pwedeng automatic na lang or meron po bang mechanism na sa database ng COMELEC ay automatic na pag senior citizen ay ilagay na doon sa accessible polling precinct?
COMELEC Director at saka si Attorney Jimenez, pwede kang mag-react.
Much that we wanted to do away with that because we know
Hindi ko kayo naririnig, please. Please unmute. Okay, Director Alnas.
hello. Madam Chair, Madam Chair,
Yes, Director Alnas.
much that we wanted to make it easier or convenient on the part of the senior citizens and PWD, but we cannot do away with the requirements under the law. Mahirap yung kami ang matamaan dyan, ma'am, because very specific yung requirements under Republic Act 10366 that they will manifest
Yes.
in the registration
And the
period.
manifestation is physical
Yes.
appearance doon sa
Yes, ma'am.
mismong kwan. I see. Okay. Attorney James, please.
So that,
Ay, sorry. Attorney James yata kanina.
I was gonna say the same thing po.
Nasa batas na, di ba? Oo, so kailangan amyendahan. Oh, that's a good work. At least alam namin may trabaho pala kami. Tapos yung sa online registration, kasi yun nga, sabi nga ni Senator Binay, nagsapaw-sapaw na yung discussion natin. Baka gusto magsalita ng DICT sapagkat nagpadala ng ASEC at iba't iba pang pinatawan dito. Does DICT wish to comment on the online registration sa atin? Ang DICT,
Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Ang DIC natin si Monica Intik and Lisa Pujo, tama ba? Okay.
Attorney Patula po. Madam Chair, good
Attorney
afternoon
Patula.
po.
Okay, sino mauna? Anong masasabi
ako lang po.
ninyo doon sa online? Pagkat yun nga, karamihan naman ng elderly natin, hindi naman nag-online. At yung iba naman nakatira sa wala namang wifi. Ano masasabi po ng DICT?
Yes, Madam Chair, this is Manny Kaintik. Tama po kayo, no? We are supportive of online voters registration. The challenge lang is to identify beforehand kung saan ang nakikita ring mga alternative locations for those who are challenged sa internet connection. We need to prepare beforehand kung saan sila pwedeng pumunta, lumapit para makakuha ng maayos na access to not just the internet but also computers or workstations. We can look at the Tech for Ed centers for that po, our Tech for Ed centers, and maybe also put up internet connections and workstations in respective schools po. Thank you po.
I see. Okay. So the ICT, matagal na kasi natin naririnig yung national broadband. Talagang mukhang mabagal talaga ang gulong eh. So eto na. I'd like to make a record and insert into our minutes today the sponsorship speech of Senator Joel Villanueva, the author of this bill regarding online registration, who, however, sadly was unable to join us today. Okay, so si Senator Villanueva, maliban sa DICT, nandito ang DOST rin. Baka gusto rin ninyo magpahiwatig. Engineer Peter Banson at saka si Mr. Calyaw. Mr. Banson, please.
Hello, Madam Chair.
Oo, ayan. Andyan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the DOST has always been supportive of any initiative that improves voter participation in our election process. We agree na the concept of online voter registration is a good idea, especially for our overseas voters. We do have some
Our
Sorry.
question has always been the issue of online verification of this request. Is there a way to verify online that these are authentic requests?
Ma'am, siguro that can be a part of the IRR. Siguro we can explore different ways to verify the identities.
Oo, kasi in the bill, that's very clear cut that we need to find safeguards together with COMELEC and work together so that if it's not feasible and we are doubtful of online verification, the system will allow the application to COMELEC directly and be processed electronically some other way. So, ayun. Pero mukha naman kaya to kasi may digital signatures na rin miski sa recommendations ng hybrid automated system, di ba?
Yes, correct, ma'am.
Oo. Any comments from DOS sa DBM naman? Kasi may gastos na naman to. Pag sinabing broadband, pag sinabing online, may gastos na naman. May computer bang ibibigay o additional, yung sinasabi nga kanina ni DICT USEC Intake, na meron na naman tong tech ed centers, mga workstation, additional wifi para lang sa araw ng eleksyon. May idea ba? Palagay ko, DPL, di pa napapag-aralan. Magkano na naman to? Ano po, Miss Dalisay? Mute lang po. Unmute.
Madam Chair, actually, ma'am, when it comes to activities related to the conduct of elections, we provide the COMELEC chargeable against the kumbaga we support the COMELEC for the activities related to the conduct of elections. However, it will be subject to the usual budgetary process and available fiscal space as well as what. Oh, yes, Madam Chair, that's all.
Naman, Nancy, well, ba ito? Balik na naman tayo sa fiscal space.
Yeah, ma'am.
Bigat-bigat si bayanihan. Okay. All right. So, perhaps since all the stakeholders were invited and have been able to comment, pwede kayong umalis kasi yung iba naman. Although
Madam Chair,
I'd like to ask the DICT
Madam
and the
Chair,
DOST to remain. Yes, Senator Nancy, please.
before we move to the next bill, gusto ko lang itanong sa COMELEC or DOST or DICT, meron na ba kayo initial study how much would this online voting cost? May mga preliminary studies na ba kayo? Kung magkano?
May mga studies tungkol sa online voting dun sa hybrid, pero sa registration, meron na ba tayo?
Kung magkano aabutin?
Attorney James, meron ba kayong study kung magkano yung registration? Alam ko yung sa hybrid may guesstimate.
Senator, sa online registration po, to my knowledge, wala pa tayong study dyan. Doon sa online voting, nakapag-pilot test na po kami ng online voting before. We can make that available to you.
Sige.
Budget for the study?
Yes.
For the cost of doing an online registration?
No studies yet, ma'am.
But do you have a budget for a study?
Ang alam ko, ma'am, wala pa because this is a new development po.
Madam Chair, di ba, napaka-importante na na malaman natin kung magkano yung gagastusin. And remember,
Tama.
2 years away na lang tong election. In fact, kung pwede, next week magkaroon na tayong online registration kasi dahil sa problema natin dito sa COVID. But yun, babalikan natin magkano ang gagastusin. At may
That's right.
sapat bang pondo ang COMELEC or can they realign a certain portion of their budget for online registration? Na nakikita na naman natin na talagang napaka-urgent nung need. Dahil I think suspended ngayon ng continuing registration in light of this pandemic.
That's right. Madam Chair, we can come back to the committee with a budget
Yes.
for a study. We will do that as soon as possible.
Kaya nga inimbita namin yung BBM para nakatibre na sila na additional
Yes.
gastos na naman tayo. Okay, Director Elnas, nagtataas po ng kamay. Unmute please. Hindi ko po marinig. Unmute lang po. Yes. Director Elnas? Paki-unmute lang, pindutin lang yung yung parang microphone na icon. Sige. Wala pa tayong marinig. Hello? Okay. Okay, so in the meantime, yung susunod nating bill, I'm sure Senator Joel will have additional input here. But in any case, perhaps with the budget issue, which is always the last provision in any bill, pwede na tayo mag-move forward dito sa static and LED billboards. Unless there are any comments. Yes, Director Elnas, did I see Senator Francis? May comment ba? Yes, Senator Francis, please. Paki-unmute na rin po. Yes.
Now, for Senate Bill, for Senate Bill 1104, siguro can we ask the Commission on Elections and other NGOs present on their stand on how we can hurdle some constitutional issues, like for instance the period of days to conduct an election, number of days, the usual. And for Senate Bill 1516, the question posed by Senator Nancy Binay is really very relevant. How much would it really cost us? So, having said that, ma'am, yun lang dalawa yung issues ko dito. We can jumpstart Senate Bill 1343 relative to the static and LED billboards amendment made by Senator Soto. Ang tanong ko lang dito po, ma'am, how will it affect and crisscross with social media? Because we're not just looking at billboards, LED billboards. The sizes probably would be an issue here. Kasi when I was MMDA chair, I was the one who raised the issue of uniformity. We have the Ad Board, Billboards Association. So what about this? What about these small gadgets? Paano po yung mga advertisements ito? Will this be covered or should this be covered by this amendment? Siguro just to jumpstart the discussion, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, for the static and LED billboards, I think we'd like some of the resource persons to have a word. Siguro yung, once again, yung mga DOST, DICT, baka meron kayong input dyan. Are there any representatives here from DOCT or DOST or DICT who would like to comment? I think the draft bill of the Senate President indicates that billboards and other outdoor paraphernalia should be included and also regulated. Sa pag-iba ng COMELEC, kinakailangan ba ito? Kasi it's not right now it's not explicitly prohibited, di ba? But I think the Senate President's bill intends that it should be explicitly included and limitations placed on them. Sa billboard at other LED installations, ano sa tingin ng COMELEC ito? Yes, Attorney James.
Yes, Madam Chair. The thing with outdoor media or billboards like that, they're not explicitly prohibited, except that they are outside the common poster area, which by implication means bawal yan. No? Pangalawa, they're also violative of the size requirements. They're too large. And so tama po kayo, the bill itself is an attempt to basically create a new category for outdoor media, no? To allow billboards. Again, the logic of the bill is that it's probably cheaper to get one billboard than to put ads on TV. So yun po yung nakikita naming purpose ng bill, no? Is to make a new category essentially for outdoor media. So,
but then, like you said, it violates naman the limitations already established about the common poster area as well as the size limitations that are very clear-cut.
Yun po yung complication niyan. No? That's the complication there, because if you're going to allow it, then you're going to have to do something about the other provisions of 9006 or Republic Act 9006, which essentially put in place those prohibitions. Relative po, Madam Chair, to the question of Senator Tolentino, wala pong digital component itong bill na ito. And like Senator Tolentino, we see that social media will be a major staging ground, no, sa darating na halalan, no? Especially with the pressure of COVID bearing down on us, a lot of campaign ads are going to be online. So this bill 1343 simply does not tackle the digital question. It's really just for the creation of outdoor media. And in that regard, Madam, we do have some questions about it.
Yes, I think there are quite a few questions here. So clearly, for example, there are LED billboards that have mobile content, and furthermore, there are mobile or transit advertisements that are literally on the backside of a bus, or yung talagang tinatakbo. May violations rin daw sa LTFRB. May comment yung LTFRB. Meron ba tayong representative ng LTFRB? Kasi nagre-reklamo rin tayo dun sa mga LED, may mga ibang malaking TV nga eh. At saka kung ano-ano pang kinakarga sa mga sasakyan. Yes, Attorney James.
Yes, ma'am. Just to clarify lang, yung mobile and transit ads, ang basa po ng COMELEC dun sa bill, sa 1343, is that they refer to those billboards which are attached to the sides of buses, of jeeps, etc. Meron din po kasing isang category, yung mga mobile billboards. These are big trucks that have been retrofitted to have light boards on the back.
That's right.
They're a little different from the treatment, I think, of mobile or transit ads, because those ones, they're not on PUVs. So they're outside the regulatory power of LTFRB. No, those are private vehicles. In fact, they're contracted. So parang pangatlong kategorya pa po yan. So you have your outdoor media na billboards na LED, nakatayo sa mga building. You have your transit ads, yung nakasampay na placard sa bus. And then you have your mobile billboards na yun na nga, yung mga light trucks. So those are the three things po that are within the ambit of this bill, we think.
Yeah, the imagination of politicians knows no bounds. So, meron pa dyan mga hot air balloon na nakikita natin sa Amerika. Marami pa yung hinihila ng mga eroplanong maliliit, di ba? Yung mga banners na lumilipad sa langit, nakikita natin. Tapos may mga pakulupang mga holographic at kung ano-ano pang mga imaging. Wala ng billboard. Yung image na lang at ilaw na lamang ang nakikita natin. So, ang problema dito, iniisip ko, pag may bagong pakulo, may bagong gimmick, babalikan lang natin ng babalikan ditong batas na to. Hindi ba pwede na may pangkalahatang regulasyon tungkol dyan? Dahil alam natin, kada 3-4 na buwan, may bagong pakulo na naman sa technical at saka sa digital.
Senator, if I may, meron pong provision sa 9006 and then sa mga in that constellation of laws, no? There's a
Yes.
provision that says if you have a mode of campaigning that is not included specifically in the rules,
Yes.
you
Yes,
can
there's a
actually ask
cover-all
to tolerate.
provision. May
Opo,
cover-all provision tayo, di ba?
opo, meron po. So again, no, mahirap din po kasing i-foretell, no, kung ano yung magiging mga platforms na lalabas in the future. Like for instance, no one knew TikTok would be such a big thing today. But we are foreseeing that it will be a major platform in 2022. So since we cannot exactly foretell everything that's gonna come out, maganda po yung ating catch-all provision na yon. And maybe if we can strengthen that, then that would be a good way forward.
Yes. Yung sa bill na ito, every bona fide candidate or party is entitled to 2 static billboards per barangay, 2,400 square feet. So, paano ba yan? Parang mahihirapan tayo dyan in relation to our poster sizes, which are so meager.
Yes po, medyo problematic yan. And if you consider that, like for the position of senator, you have 50 candidates in the last elections. And for local, you have easily 10 times that much. Wala na tayong makikita sa mga barangay po natin, kundi billboard. Not to mention the fact that it will probably drive the cost of billboards up. It will create competition for a very limited resource. So kung mataas po yung competition for a limited resource, tataas ang presyo niyan, baka ma-defeat naman yung purpose ng bill. One of the things that might be considered po is to limit the authorization to use things like billboards to national candidates. No, that has been mentioned in the past na baka pwedeng national candidates lang ang pwede niyan. Kasi kung local candidates kasama dyan, then automatically you have a scale problem. Dami-dami niyan. So baka po maging issue yan pagdating ng panahon.
Pero Attorney James, as you know, nangyari, there's also a big distinction between the Senate campaign budgets versus the President and Vice President. Kasi we're also in this process trying to make more realistic the campaign finance, di ba? Kasi
Yes,
ang baba naman ng iwagat 3 piso, no? So, tinatasan natin sa 20, lumulobo naman yung sa senador. Kaya marami rin nagre-reklamo na puros mayayaman na lang talaga ang tatakbo. I think Mr. Alex Montañez wants to speak. Senator Francis. Yes, Senator Francis has a response. Then Mr. Montañez.
A quick retort and to agree with Ma'am, do you yes.
Senator Francis, please go ahead.
Ni James kanina, malaki talaga yung 2,400.
Laki!
That is 220 square meters na billboard. Pag nilagay mo sa isang barangay yan, malaki pa yun sa arko ng barangay.
Dalawa yun ha? Dalawang ganun kada kandidato pati kung bata ka.
Malaki pa sa isang bungalow na malaking-malaki yun, ma'am. Thank you.
Super! Okay, so is that all? Are you done, Senator Francis? Sang-ayon tayo dyan.
Yung sa akin, mas maliit siguro. If
Oo
ever
nga.
approve, mas maliit. And then
pero ubod naman ng liit ng poster size. Alam naman natin, poster size, kaya liit-liit. Paano ihahambing yung poster na paliit-liit? Tapos di pa naman yung billboard, pambira naman yun.
If I may ask the committee to get hold of a study conducted by the Ad Board of the Philippines and there is a board association relative to sizes and how products can be really marketed. I got hold of I have that copy when I was MMDA chairman. Yun yung plano ko sana sa EDSA, pare-pareho yung size ng billboard eh. But nawala na yon. So siguro pwedeng pag-aralan yon. Plus the dangers it would pose sa traffic, sa accident, and a lot of other things. Thank you, ma'am.
Tama. Sa safety. At si Mr. Montañez yata kanina pang nagkakaway. Yes, please unmute. Hindi ko po kayo naririnig. Mr. Montañez, ayan.
Yes. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and all the present senators. Thank you for inviting us here. I'd like to raise the point on the size. The size is 2,400 square meters. It is the approved size under DPWH ruling for an existing legal billboards. Ibig sabihin po, if this Senate 1343 will be passed, they only allowed to be used for these election purposes, advertising propaganda, are those legal with DPWH permits and even LGU permits. There is distance from one billboard to another billboard, which is 100 meters. Now, in the case of the size mandated by the COMELEC, which is only 2 by 3, we cannot compare a streamer or a poster to a OOH or out-of-home advertising billboard. Billboard really are huge one. So, impossible din now if there is a new set up or they want to set up a new billboard, it won't be given another permit because there is that distance required in a area, and then the number of billboards also will be regulated by DPWH for that matter.
I see. Well taken. Senator Francis, please.
There is a provision found in the National Building Code which would require an office within the DPWH to regulate the buildings. This was a delegated function. But the difference there would lie on the intention. With a huge billboard backed up by steel frames, your real purpose there is to advertise a product, and usually you find these big billboards along NLEX, SLEX, EDSA, although we have limited speed along EDSA, but within a barangay, constructing a huge, monstrous billboard where people just walk, fly tricycles, slow down, siguro naman hindi ganun kalaking billboard ang kailangan na gagastusan ng napakalaking mga steel frames. Kasi pag tinalupan niyo po, ma'am, yung inalis niyo yung tarp sa billboard, makikita niyo yung likuran nun, pwede na maggawa ng 3 basketball court yung mga frames nun. Lalong-lalo na kung 2,400 meters. So again, it just buttresses my original contention that for an electoral propaganda, siguro mas maliit na lang po, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Well taken. And Mr. Montañez, naintindihan ko, we have to make a distinction about those sanctioned already by the DPWH, the LGUs, as well as the other regulatories, versus those na biglaan na lang ipapatayo. I think Mr. Russell Takla would like to say something, and then Mr. Montañez has a rejoinder. Mr. Takla, please. Please unmute. Sorry, ayan.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, and all the senators and resource person. I heard the position of the good Senator Francis Tolentino regarding the size. Well, we submit to the discretion of the Senate as to the wisdom kung gaano dapat kalakihan. I think the Senate bill of Senate President Soto takes into consideration jurisprudential doctrine on the matter with respect to sizes. Particularly, I would like to raise as a point of reference the case of Diocese of Bacolod versus Comelec, wherein the Supreme Court mentioned that specifically it said that size matters when it comes to making your political or electoral advertisement. Particularly in that case, the Supreme Court said, kailangan, in essence, the Supreme Court said, kailangan talagang i-justify niya kung bakit malaki yung billboard na itatayo. Dahil otherwise, kung maliit yan, hindi naman yan mababasa. I think with respect to the OHAP, the Senate bill of the good Senate President is asking, or I think he wants to make a paradigm shift into what could be included into valid election propaganda. Because as you could see, Madam Chairman, right now we could access, candidates could access TV, print, and other forms of medium, but not billboard. But if you would take into consideration the fact that if I have a very low budget, I perhaps have no capacity to make an advertisement in TV. I may have no capacity to make an advertisement in radio, or if I have capacity to publish in newspaper, that's only for a specific day. Whereas if I could access in a billboard, and that could be sufficient for my candidacy. It could bolster my candidacy. So I think it just calls for a paradigm shift as to as to the requirement of allowing billboards, Madam Chairman. Also, with respect to transit ads or mobile advertisement, I think the Supreme Court has also decided on this matter, particularly in the case of Juan Utak versus Comelec and Blo-Ampar Adjong versus Comelec. In Blo-Ampar Adjong versus Comelec, the Supreme Court allowed private vehicles to post ads, election ads or campaigns of their supported candidates. With respect to Juan Utak, the Supreme Court decided on the case whether or not, kasi ang issue po dyan, pwede po ba yung mga public utility vehicle or yung may humihingi ng franchise sa gobyerno na maglagay din sila ng mga ads? Sinagot na po yan ng Supreme Court by deciding that yes, they can. Because technically, the issue on franchise is different from the exercise of proprietary rights or rights of ownership. So I think, Madam Chairman, OHAP has prepared a position paper on the matter in support of this Senate bill. And I believe we have sent an advanced copy to the good Senate ComSec Attorney Dana Menjola so that the same could be distributed for the kind consideration of our Madam Chairwoman and the rest of the senators.
Yes, that's right. Although together with Senator Francis, as I recall, the Diocese of Bacolod case had to do with freedom of expression kasi hindi siya square dun sa sinasabi na size. It makes a difference when you want to make a political statement. But in fact, it was only mentioned in passing, and
Yes,
it was
Your Honor.
actually quite tangential to the argument, if I
Yes.
recall correctly.
Correct, ma'am. Correct.
It is correct, madam.
It's a freedom of expression issue, not relative to the size. Because when you deal with the size, matagal ko na inaral to, ma'am, no offense, pati yung wind shear, alam nyo, kinalaban ko muna rito yung mga billboard sa Guadalupe. So yung sinasabi ko po kanina, kaya malalaki yon kasi we have the speed. Ang bilis ng takbo natin, kailangan natin makita kung ano man yung naka-advertise doon. Yung sinasabi ko po kanina, sa barangay po, naglalakad lang tayo, naka-tricycle tayo, hindi naman tayo tumatakbo ng 80 kilometers per hour gaya ng sa NLEX, SLEX. So ito yung mga reasons kaya malalaki yung sizes ng mga ads din sa mga highways. Kaya lang mabagal na talaga sa EDSA ngayon. So siguro I reiterate again, kung magkakaroon ng allowable billboards and LED billboards, not that as gigantic as 200 20 square meters, Madam Chair. To reiterate.
Ewan ko, at saka, kailangan ba talaga na every single barangay may mga billboards? Siguro, ilimit na lang siguro sa National Highway yung pagkalaki-laki at saka ilimit na rin lang sa national candidates. Kasi nakakalula naman ang mga laki nito eh. Yes, Apo Takla.
Madam Chairwoman, as a matter of fact, I think the Senate bill filed by Senate President Soto is just has made an impression na meron sa barangay. Siguro prospective lang gusto niyang ilimit siguro. But if you would notice, if you could do a survey, wala naman po tayo per barangay na malalaking billboard.
Wala talaga.
Opo, that is true, Madam Chairwoman. So perhaps in the Senate bill, what the good Senate President intended is perhaps futuristic or prospective. Na halimbawa kung merong ganito sa barangay, ganito lang dapat ang limit nito at ang regulation. But that of course is subject to the wisdom of the Senate, Your Honor.
So, national candidates ang sinasabi ninyo, national highways kapag kailangan at hindi naman sa kasuluk-sulukan ng ating buong kapulungan.
That is correct, Madam Chairwoman.
All right, perhaps we will require COMELEC to give a position paper. Our former chairman, Senator Coco, wishes to speak. You're recognized.
Well, yung opinion ko po dito, since we are already allowing the use of mass media as a way to campaign, sana i-limit na natin yung all other forms of election propaganda. So, kung posters lang, leaflets lang, and then billboards in designated areas, tapos outside of that, mag-mass media na. Kaya nga inalaw na ang mass media. Para nga magiging environmental friendly, wala masyadong aksayan ng mga gamit, mga nagtatarpaulin pa yung mga kandidato. So, well, siguro in aking position, Madam Chair, so pagdating siguro ng interpellation, baka if you will introduce this into the plenary, I will ask that. Saan pa pala yung mass media? Bakit pa natin hinalaw?
Para sa akin, tama ho yung point ninyo kay Senator Coco. I think it's well established na outdoor advertising is part and parcel of any campaign, kahit commercial campaign. So, i-explicit na natin na kayang i-regulate. Pero ang fear ko lang, babalik sa Kongreso, sa Senate, let's delegate some of the powers for the guidelines to the COMELEC also, so that hindi naman sila hamstrung tuwing may bagong gimmick, may bagong pakulo at may bagong digital.
Madam Chair, siguro nga, dahil this is a campaign, we think of how to promote commercial products. Pero iba to eh. This is a election campaign. Ideas ang binibenta mo rito, gano'n. So, I think we do not have necessarily to copy how a commercial product is campaigned or is being marketed or sold. So, pwede tayong maging stricto rito. Anyway, pinayagan na rin yung mass media. Yan po opinion ko, Madam Chair.
Yeah. No, I understand. So, your position, Coco, is i-regulate na rin natin yung outdoor, katulad ng pagre-regulate ng minutes sa TV at sa radyo?
Ang aking position is we allow mass media. We are allowing the traditional posters, leaflets, may billboards, but may common poster area lang. So, and then merong binanggit si Director James, si Attorney Elnas, na merong flexibility na in the law eh. That if there is a new way of campaigning na naisip mo, you have to now apply sa COMELEC. So when COMELEC allows it, it will be allowed for all candidates. So I think that's a very already that should be a working system na, in my opinion. Kasi kung isa-isahin natin yung isa-isahin mo lahat ng ano, pero ang ano ko lang is meron naman kasing second di ba? Meron kasing second limit that you should not surpass the ceiling, the campaign budget ceiling. So you can use your imagination on how to campaign Pag wala sa listahan sa batas, you ask COMELEC's permission. Pag pinayagan ka ng COMELEC, that should be announced to all candidates so they can also copy what you're doing. And then, meron second double checking that you must spend within the campaign spending limits. Yun lang yun.
Okay.
It's all there.
That's right. And that will avoid the problem of constantly coming back to Congress to include a new technical innovation. So, Attorney James, meron kayong reaction dyan?
Madam Chair, yes, Madam Chair, maganda po yung sinasabi ni Senator Coco, and we agree that it's good to have that flexibility on the part of the COMELEC. It's just that there are, unfortunately, to be real about it, there are challenges with implementation and enforcement. No, yung sinasabi po ni Senator Coco, like traditional posters, etc. That's what we do now. That's what we do now, and the freedom is already there, and yet we have billboards, we have these things. And since they are outside the pale, they are outside the regulatory power of the COMELEC, nagkakaroon ng perception na may need to regulate. So baka po ganun lang, no, na kailangan lang i-regulate kasi ginagawa na eh. Let's leave the flexibility in place for future platforms, but yung mga problem areas now, for instance, again, yes, we have a common poster area rule, we have rules on sizes, etc. And yet we still have the billboards. So why not just regulate it? Hindi naman mapipigilan yan eh. And
Yes,
sinasabi nga, opo,
and perhaps we can deal with it more holistically, taking into
Yes, ma'am.
consideration the size requirements of the posters, the limitation to common poster areas. Baka tapos yung billboard, maski saan pwede naman. So dapat isang bunuan na lang once and for all,
Yes, ma'am.
para may logic naman siya ng kaunti.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, Coco, yes, Senator Coco.
Tama po yan, para may logic po. At saka sana, baguhin na lang natin ang rule na ask permission first before deploying. Kasi ang nangyayari, they deploy in new, kahit wala sa listahan, and then hintayin nila, i-warningan sila ng COMELEC, and then may 2 weeks pa siguro na palugit, then ubusin yung 2 weeks bago tatanggalin. So siguro ibago natin ang rule na okay, the law will list down the allowable campaign propaganda or materials, ilista. If you are not there, you can ask permission from COMELEC. If COMELEC, you cannot deploy unless you are permitted. So, but when COMELEC permits you, it announces it to all candidates so that they can also avail of the new way of campaigning. So ayaw ko kung may logic doon, Madam Chair.
Yeah, mas okay yun kasi may catch-all provision eh. Ang hirap naman pabalik-balik eh. Wala patapusan ang galing at angas ng ating mga kandidato. Alam mo, mga politiko sobrang galing eh. Hindi lang pulis ang magaling eh. Talagang pati yung mga politician. So,
tama ba yung sinabi ko na nakaisip sila ng i-deploy nila tapos pagbabawalan and then
parating catch up eh. Forever playing catch up.
Ubusin yung oras muna. Tama ba yun?
Correct. Tama yun. Parating catch up ang problema. So, Mr. Montañez, please, I have to ask na konting paspasan kasi may 3 o'clock session mga senador at medyo mabigat ang bunuan sa bayanihan. At si Mr. Mendoza nandiyan pa tungkol sa anti-dynasty kasi kanina pang kinakailangan umalis eh. Ariyan pa ba si Mr. Mendoza o sapat na? Dana?
I think he left already po.
Okay. Okay, in that case, Mr. Alex Montañez, please. And Senator Bato.
Okay, good afternoon again. I would like to make this thing clear regarding the mass media thing. In this point of time, OOH or the billboards out of home is already part and parcel of the mass media. Anywhere in the world, it is already considered as one. That's why we are so happy with this 1343 proposal of Senate President Soto that we will be included because we are we are legit. We have permits. We are situated in a private place. But with regards to barangay, maybe that would be corrected because most of our billboards are situated along the national highway. Apo kayo dyan, Madam Chair. So that would be one of the corrections here. And at the same time, with the idea of the Senator Tolentino that the size must be regulated, that can be discussed. We can give some of our research. In fact, there is a pending executive order which is already in the house, in the office of Meljaldea, Secretary Meljaldea, to regulate on the size according to the recommendation of DPWH. That's why maybe the President, Senate President was able to get that idea of 2,400.
Kaya lang, quantum leap pa rin ang 2,400 sa 2x3 ng COMELEC. Ang hindi.
Opo.
Attorney James, please.
We cannot compare the size of a poster or a streamer
Understood.
to a billboard. Opo. Iba po yung...
Sorry, James. Senator Bato was first na nagtaas ng kamay. Please, Senator Ronald.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Gusto ko lang maklaro yung distinction between sinasabi yung highway at saka barangay. Yung national highway at saka barangay. Is it barangay center or barangay as a whole? Dahil kung sinabi mong barangay, itong EDSA,
Dadaan ng maraming barangay.
Barangay Green Hills, barangay pa rin yan. Di ba? Lahat naman ng national highway passes through a barangay. So paano natin ma-distinguish yan ngayon? So siguro wala nang distinction yan. Sinabi mong...
Dapat hindi na pagbitin yung barangay, nakakalito, highway na lang.
Wala. Pwede tanggalin na lang yung barangay.
Okay. Yes, Jay. Just Bato.
Yes, andito na lang si Juan. I just would like to take this opportunity. This is outside the LAD, yung bill natin. Andito naman lang si Atty. James Jimenez. Tanungin ko na lang, yung bang, di ba, limitation natin sa size na maximum is 2x3, attorney, di ba? 2x3 yung dimension, yun ang limitation.
Yes,
pero ginagawa ng mga politiko is maglagay ng napakadambuhalang wall doon sa isang common poster area. Tapos ilagay doon lahat ng mukha, Tolentino, kaya Puko, Pimentel, gano'n. Bato. Puno yung isang hektarya na
Francis,
billboard. Pero 2x3
narinig ko yung pangalan ko.
2x3. Puro naman tol, gano'n. Tanong lang ako.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, Attorney James, please feel free.
Madam Chair, can we have that expunge from the records? Nagbibiro lang siya.
Wala. Madam Chair, wala akong budget para sa ganun.
Correct.
Madam Chair, theoretically speaking, yung mga ganung klaseng campaign strategies, bawal po yan. Because hindi common poster area yung nagagawan mo ng ganun. Yung common poster area, very limited ang size niyan.
Maliit lang at siksikan.
So yung sinasabi ni Senator Bato, automatically mali na kagad yun kasi na out of place, individually.
At saka nung last 2 elections, very aggressive kayo magbaklas doon sa mga out of place.
Yes po. And so yun po yung point dyan doon sa senaryo na sinasabi ni Senator Bato. Unfortunately, totoo po nangyayari yan. And we see it with the same amount of frequency sa national and sa local races. It's not the fault of the candidates in all cases, obviously. Meron kami nakikita na may mga over-eager campaigners na nangyayari. And in our experience, pag sinisita namin, tumutulong naman yung mismong kandidato na magbaklas. So we think it's very important to keep that in the proper context. Balikan ko lang, Madam Chair, yung sinasabi ni Senator Bato. It's the point I was also going to make. The mention of the word barangay in the bill isn't to say na doon sa maliliit na barangay may billboard. It's just that lahat ng billboard nasa barangay yan somewhere, which causes a problem. Because if in a barangay, you're limited to 2 billboards only per candidate, mag-aagawan nga yung candidate ng billboard doon sa barangay na yon. So kunwari sa EDSA, mag-aagawan kayo doon sa billboards doon. Kung mag-aagawan sila sa billboard, hindi ba yan mag-i-exert ng pressure doon sa cost ng billboard? Kasi kung limited yung resource at mataas ang demand, hindi kaya tataas ang pressure niyan. So that might also be taken into consideration, Madam Chair.
Yes, siguradong tataas ang presyo, hindi na yan mura. So, Alex, just a couple of things. We are limited by time. Yes, Mr. Alex, yes.
With regards, thank you very much for that idea, Mr. Attorney Jimenez. The idea of OHAP, for that matter, we are ready to submit to you, COMELEC and the Senate, to give us, to limit the price. The same thing with the tri-media, radio, TV, and print. You have a cap, right? We can also abide with that idea. There's no problem for OHAP. What is the existing now would be, we can even lower it just to help the yes, sir.
Political ads, opo. Yes.
Madam Chair, wala po sa bill, wala pong limitation ng
That's right.
price sa bill and wala ding provision for discount, similar to mass media.
Yes, provision for discount pa pala, the recent one. Okay, so these are areas that you can probably explore para ma-equalize na in the spirit of the law. And Senator Bato, nag-ask kayo ng kamay, may comment pa po? Unmute na lang. Okay.
Salamat.
Thank you. Thank you. Si Tol, Tol, mamaya awayin natin. Okay. Speaking of over-eager and over-enthusiastic campaigning, we have SBN 1516, yung premature campaigning at saka yung redefinition ng kandidato under the AAS law. This derives from Senator De Lima, Senator Pangilinan, that upon the filing of a certificate of candidacy within the period provided by the Commission, all the unlawful acts and omissions applicable to a candidate will take effect immediately, no? And whoever is already holding a public position will also have to vacate the same upon filing. Ano po yung position ng COMELEC firstly, and perhaps the senators present have an immediate reaction. Upon filing kaagad-agad, kandidato na ang consideration. Dahil napakarami daw na nagpe-premature campaigning at saka yung definition ng kandidato sa batas, hindi ganun kaliwanag. Yes, is that Attorney Jimenez and Jeannie Florita, tama ba? Okay. Attorney Jimenez, please. Ikaw yata
Yes,
na.
Ako ba nauna, ma'am? Ma'am, all right. Yes, medyo the definition of what constitutes a candidate is really what contributes to the proliferation of the problem of premature campaigning. You file your certificate of candidacy in October and you are considered a candidate in February. So yung interim na yon, technically you're not a candidate yet, and therefore whatever you do, while we all know it's campaigning, it cannot be technically classified as campaigning. Kaya nailulusot, no? So yun po yung, I think yun po yung gustong i-address nung bill. Kung maaga po yung declaration na technically candidate ka na, then definitely maagang papasok yung regulations. Baka po magka-problema lang doon sa politiko syempre kasi mabigat sa kanya yan. Imagine, Pasko, tas kandidato ka na.
Kaya nga, walang may gusto ng Pasko na kandidato, patay kang bata ka. Syempre, na-avoid namin lahat like yung Pasko. Ayan, Senator Francis, you are not alluded to this time, but you may want to react.
Yes, I think the historical reasons why there was a time gap, so to speak, when one files a certificate of candidacy and the period of campaigning was the previous COMELEC administrative deficiency, so to speak, when we shifted to the use of the
Automated.
PCOS, etc., di ba? So, kailangan nila ng period to print the ballots, to adjust the machines, etc. But madami na tayong eleksyon na nadaanan. So, we have to really reach the stage na mas malapit na bridge na dapat yung gap. Kaya nanganak na ng napakaraming problema. Kasi yung dating rason na kailangan namin ng time to have a headway, kaya yung kandidato, nag-file siya, hindi niya alam kung kandidato siya nung panahon ng tagpasko o umaba, kaya napapag-usapan itong premature campaigning. Pero kung ang COMELEC, adjust na yung kanilang sistema, palagay ko wala na pong problema dyan, Madam Chair.
Tama. Oo. Ano sa tingin ninyo? Si Mr. Flororita, Jeannie Flororita ba? Oo. Sa COMELEC rin po kayo?
Yes, Madam Chair. This is Albert Rodriguez po from the Law Department.
Albert Rodriguez. Kasi
Yes,
yung
Madam Chair.
pangalan
Good afternoon po.
iba. Okay, can you speak up lang po?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Senate Bills number 77 authored by Senator De Lima and Senate Bill number 633 authored by Senator Francis Pangilinan po aims to repeal Republic Act 9369, particularly Section 15. Yun po yung nag-define that a person who files his certificate of candidacy will not be considered candidate yet at the time of filing.
That's right.
Ngayon po, ito pong dalawang bills ni Senators Pangilinan and Senators De Lima, they aim to repeal that particular provision and go back to the provision stated in Section 80 of the Omnibus Election Code, which states that when a person who files his certificate of candidacy, that person will now be deemed or considered as candidate, thereby effectively abandoning po yung doctrine sa Peñera versus COMELEC. Yun pong mga nakalipas na Kongreso.
So, anong recommendation po ninyo? Kasi medyo nagmamadali tayo, magtatakbuhan na kami sa session eh.
We fully support po itong position po, etong dalawang.
That we revert back to Section 80.
Yes, Madam Chair, we fully support. The position of the Commission po is now being finalized by the members of the COMELEC, and then we will transmit the soonest possible time po yung aming position paper sa COMSEC po.
Okay, thank you very much. That's well taken, and we appreciate that. Pati yung ibang mga position paper, marami pang utang sa committee ang COMELEC. Alam ko marami kayong trabaho, pero para makapag-report out na po kami. So, eto nga, yung premature campaigning, there seems to be a consensus na bumalik na tayo upon filing, kandidato ka na. Pasko o hindi Pasko. Gastos na madugo o hindi gastos na madugo, kandidato ka na. Ganun po ba?
Yun po, Madam Chair, if the particular bills authored by the two good senators ay maipasa natin, yun po yung magiging epekto po. Upon the filing of certificate of candidacy, sila po ay considered candidates na po.
Tama. Para hindi na magulo. Yes, Senator Tolentino?
Yun po yung sinasabi ko kanina, Madam Chair. Dapat po, naka-adjust na.
It's about time eh.
COMELEC, kasi ang reason before, kailangan nila ng lead time para mag-print yung ballots, kailangan nila ng panahon para malista yung number of candidates. Kung kaya nga po, dahil napakatagal na yung experiment na yan, kung magfa-file ng 3 weeks before or a month before, palagay ko with the use of modern day technology, no offense to the COMELEC, naka-adjust na dapat. Kaya kahit after Christmas na yung filing, considered candidate ka, dapat ganun. Pero dahil tuloy-tuloy po yung naging sistema, humihingi ng time yung COMELEC to adjust kasi kailangan nila yung ma-print yung balota ganitong panahon at may deadline din yung withdrawal ng certificate of candidacy, etc., etc. These administrative requirements would have to be solved by COMELEC para hindi na tayo pabago-bago lagi ng batas, yung premature campaigning.
Tama. So ang pakiwarin ninyo na palta na lang yung filing date, wag na as early as October, gawin na after Christmas?
Opo.
Yeah. Parang practical din yun kung kaya ng COMELEC.
Kasi ang reason before, yung unang pag-try natin ng automated election. Ang tagal na ho natin nag-automated election, ma'am.
Tama. Yes, Attorney James.
i-contextualize ko lang po, no? Marami po tayo kasing kandidato and lahat po yan nasa balota. So, hindi lang national candidates ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, kundi candidates all the way down to the municipal council level. Which means you are dealing with that many number of candidates na kailangan naka-preprint ang pangalan sa balota. Doon po nang gagaling yung tagal. Not really so much the printing itself. The printing
Pero James, sabihin natin nag-file ng January, siguro naman ma-imprenta na yan at ma-distribute by April.
Ma'am, kasi po may processing doon sa pag-file pa ng candidacy. You have to make accommodations for withdrawals. You have to make accommodations for challenges to the candidacy.
Kaya so how many months do you really need? Kasi dati ang sagot 5 months.
Ma'am, actually kung magbabasihan natin yung 2019, nag-filing tayo ng October, naglabas tayo ng finalist of candidates around December to January na nga, no? So it's about that, it takes us about that long to go through all of the applications. Ma'am, we're talking about thousands and thousands of candidates.
Of course, we know there's about 16,800 candidates all told as a general rule. Pero working backward, sabihin na nga natin, December, January yung finalist ng October, di siguro naman, halimbawa kung January nag-file, siguro naman by March may kabuuhan na yung mga listahan na yan.
Ma'am, I would defer to Attorney Albert po kasi yung office niya is very involved. Opo.
Kasi I recall the last time we discussed it dun sa barangay and so on, 5 months ang kanilang backwards. Yung kailangan talaga nila working backwards sa distribution, printing, finalizing, confirming, nasa 5.5 buwan, somewhere there. So, yes, thank you. I would like to mention and put on record that the Department of Budget has already submitted their position on the reorganization of COMELEC offices and the reclassifying of plantilla. So, si Ms. Dalisay nag-submit pala. At gusto ko rin sabihin na si Professor Mendoza, nag-submit na ulit ng anti-dynasty paper niya. Kung meron pang anti-dynasty resource persons, kung pwede lang ninyong bilisan at tatakbo na kami sa sesyon. Dana, ang ating committee secretary, meron pa ba tayong resource person dito sa anti-dynasty? Yes, Mr. Rodriguez from COMELEC, please. Inaas niyo ang kamay dito sa anti-dynasty. Kalawang hearing na natin po ito.
Yes, Madam Chair. Good afternoon po ulit. We have here 3 bills po, no? Meron po kaming na-draft po na position on our end po sa Law Department and we already submitted it to the Anbank for their confirmation po. We respect po yung intents ng framers, yung kanilang wisdom. However po, we have to clarify po certain provisions. With respect to Section 7 po of Bill 264, siya lang po ang nagsabi na petition...
Sino yung author? Yan ba yung kay Senator Grace?
264, ma'am, is kay Senator Pangilinan po.
Okay.
Siya lang po, ma'am, ang nagsabi, ma'am, that violation of the anti-political dynasty law, if ever po may pasa, will warrant the filing of petition for cancellation or denial due course po ng certificate of candidacy. The rest po, ma'am, is disqualification. It is our submission po, ma'am, that baka po pwede i-reconcile at gawin siyang petition for cancellation or deny due course po yung certificate of candidacy at hindi po siya disqualification, ma'am. May technical meaning po yan at iba po yung grounds.
Yes, the majority of the bill says that in any case. I think there are some distinctions with Senator Poe's bill. So may mga additional leeway sa local government at saka may iba pang prohibition sa mga gobernador sa local level. So may mga distinctions, mini-matrix naman natin at i-report out natin itong anti-dynasty. Do any of the senators have any reaction to the anti-dynasty bill or any queries? Wala muna. Okay. So, hihingin natin. Yes, Mr. Rodriguez, may additional pa kayo?
Yes, ma'am, additional point po sa section same House Senate Bill, ma'am, 264. There is a duty imposed upon the COMELEC po to screen or to check yung mga relationships po ng mga kandidato. Ma'am, considering our limited resources, manpower, etc., we are talking of 18,000 positions po rito and possible 300,000 candidates. Malaki po ang magiging problema, ma'am, if yung dalawang kandidato na magkamag-anak, pasok siya doon sa prohibited degree of affinity or consanguinity, ay magkaiba ang apelyido. May hirapan po kami, ma'am, on our end to determine, ma'am, kung sino-sino po yung mga kandidatong yon. So,
Tama
pwede
yun.
dalawang magkapatid.
Lalo na sa mga kababaihan. Kasi nga,
Yes,
nakapag-asawa na. At eto nga, nag-iba na yung mga apelyido. Tama yun. So, anong suggestion nyo? Sino mag-check ng relationship? Kapag walang nagsumbong, dead man na lang, ganon?
Ma'am, we suggest, ma'am, that it will be a requirement to state in the certificate of candidacy yung kanilang relationship po to any candidate or any incumbent.
Yun na nga, pero ang problema kasi ni Senator Pangilinan, kapag hindi nagsabi ng totoo, paano na ngayon?
Then, ma'am, that is another ground po for a possible petition for cancellation or denial due course because pwede po siyang nag-misrepresent or pwede po siyang, kasi ma'am, meron po doon, it's under oath.
That's right.
That you are eligible. So that is a ground po. Misrepresentation po, ma'am.
Okay. That's a ground for misrepresentation at saka yung cancellation, denial, etc. No?
Yes,
So,
ma'am. And then, another thing po, ma'am, tama po kayo kanina, nag-mention po ng ibang positions, governor, mayor. Ang nagsabi po, ma'am, is yung sa barangay. Lalo na po yung apat po na bills, ma'am. It has been the position po of the COMELEC, ma'am, even in the past Congress po, na sana po i-include natin yung mga kandidato po sa barangay. Because, ma'am, that a chairman or a captain, kapag naboto siya na member ng federation, ABC or SK, in effect, ma'am, uupo rin po siya sa council. So that particular barangay official will also exercise the same power po ng members ng council, may it be city or provincial. So
that's right.
Lang po iyon, ma'am. So it has been our position po in the past that sana po ma-include din po sila.
At saka nagiging absurdity, kasama naman yung SK. Bakit yung barangay hindi kasama? Dapat
Yes,
consistent. Lahat kasama. Kasi sa SK Reform Act, kasama na yung mga SK eh. So dapat pantay-pantay. Okay. So maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Kay Senator Coco, may tanong ba yan or kumakaway na lang?
Very short. Doon sa previous bill, pwede? Previous bill, yung sa when a candidate, when a filer becomes a candidate.
That's right. Ano?
Kahit na i-move natin yan sa January, yung prinsipyo ba ay i-retain natin that once you have filed, you're already considered a candidate? Kasi may implication yun. If you're already considered a candidate, ingat ka na sa mga regalo-regalo, bigay-bigay, gano'n, at saka mga TV ads mo, mga gano'n, isa yun. And then number two, pag-isipan siguro ng COMELEC kasi ang haba nung panahon ng substitution. If you want to give a time for substitution and if it's not the length is not stated in the law, let us shorten it kasi pinag-isipan naman yan eh. Hindi naman yan yung pagtakbo, hindi naman yan pinag-isipan lang kahapon eh. Matagal na pinag-isipan po yan. So let us shorten that period para makatipid yung oras po pwede nating ma-move yung filing. Yun lang po, Madam Chair. Yun lang po.
Tama yun. Sang-ayon ako doon sa napakahabang period of substitution. Nalilito yung tao eh. At nagiging proseso na panlilito kaya hindi na siya tama. Pero if we revert nga to Section 80 of the Omnibus Election Code, talagang watch out na rin ang ating mga kandidato kasi considered election violations lahat yan. Sige, maraming salamat sa COMELEC. Please, kukulitin ko kayo sa inyong mga kautangan ng mga papeles na limpak-limpak. Pero thank you very much for all those who participated and especially my fellow senators.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys. See you later.
Thank you.